Shopify Checkout Page Customization, the 10 best ways. Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how you can customize your Shopify checkout page. Now, the checkout page is something that often is neglected and usually is the last thing that you think about when you're building your store. But your checkout page can be a really major part of your sales experience. So for customers, if a checkout page is not well designed, it can lead to abandoned carts, and we don't want that. So let's get started with page customizations. Now, the first customization that I actually have, which I won't be able to display to you guys because I don't have Express Checkout, but I will explain it to you guys. So you can go into settings on the left, and if I go into payments over here, I can set up the method of payment that I want to accept. So I can click on choose a provider. I can choose a provider that I want. I can click on install and accept different types of payments. Now, once you have a provider installed, you can enable express payments on your Shopify store, which basically mean that if a person goes onto your store like this, they can just click on buy it now. When they click on buy it now, this checkout appears. Now, because I have manual payments added, this is not going to display the icons for express checkout. But what happens is that with a lot of payment providers on Shopify, it is going to display Google Pay or one other type of payment. So you will have two, online payment options displayed on the top right. And then on the bottom, they have basic options like credit card options available. So because of that, what it does, and I'm just going to enable this payment method, we can click on login. And what it does is that it makes customers, especially when you have older customers, they don't know how to check out on that because they can only see Apple Pay or Google Pay on top. They don't see the credit card. So if you want to remove that, it's a really quick and simple fix. You can go into your Shopify store, click on your online store on the left. Once you do that, you're going to go into your themes, and in your themes, you can actually go into your theme customization. So you're going to click on these three dots and then click on edit default theme. Once you do that, you're going to just search for Express Checkout. And you will see Express Checkout, and you will see this checkout payment preview not available. But in my checkout system, what it says is that it's going to show me that you can check out or you can do full checkouts. And instead of the place where it says or, you're going to give it a complete way. So Express Checkout, or scroll down to check out with your credit card like this. Now, when you add this, this makes it really easy for customers to understand where your actual checkout is. Now, moving on to number 2, you have to simplify your checkout process. So by default, if I open up my Shopify store, it follows a very simple pattern, which is I can click on add to cart, then I can click on view cart. Once I click on view cart, I can click on checkout, and this leads me to my checkout page. Now, there are two styles of checkout pages. Either we have a 3-page checkout or a 1-page checkout. This is a 1-page checkout that I showed you guys. However, 3-page checkouts are where the information bits are divided. So first, people put in their address, then they put in their payment method, and then they check out. So this really depends on the niche, on your target audience, and this is something that you have to do split testing on individually. To do this, you can click on settings, and in your settings, you can click on checkout. When you click on your checkout, you can scroll down and you have marketing options, targeting, and all of your checkout pages listed. And you can actually customize these. And you guys can see this is the basic checkout that is going to be displayed. Now in this, I can click on my checkout layout on the bottom left, and then I can choose a 3-page layout. This is the 3-page layout. So it's a return to cart, continue to shopping, continue to payment, and then after that, the payment happens. This is up to your personal preference. I would suggest that for 1 week, you leave it at the 3-page checkout. And then for another week, you leave it at a 1-week checkout. View your overall conversions during that time period and don't change anything else. And then this will provide you with valuable data on which works better. So whichever type of checkout performed better for your store, you want to stick with that type of checkout. Now, moving on to tip number 3. If you want to enhance your Shopify checkout, you have to be very aware of the language that is used. So go into settings and then go into checkouts on the left once more, and you will see your checkout. Now, if I just click on view, you will see the language used in my checkout is very standard. It just has basic contact, delivery, and then payment. However, to improve this, I can click on customize and improve the language and make it more refined. So you can include your store logo on the top as well as adjust some of the backgrounds to make your store checkout a bit more trustable. Now, to alter this information where it says delivery, instead of just writing delivery, if it said delivery address or your address, this would make my store look a bit more polished. So, again, you're going to go into online store and then you're going to go into your default theme editor like so. And then you're going to click on the checkout on the top menu bar. So we can see onboarding, newsletter, gift cards. I'm going to go into checkout and system and you can scroll down and find it. So if I scroll down, I have choose a shipping method and it just directly says choose a shipping method. So instead I can write select a shipping method. Now, just by altering a couple of different words, you can make your store seem more refined. Now, moving on, next step of our Shopify store checkout improvement is whenever you make any refinement. So this is tip number 5. If you make any refinement in your store, always test it. So make sure not to change any other elements during that time period and see how your store performs after any particular change that you make for 1 week. After that, you can see whether it boosted up your conversions or it lowered them down. And then you can choose whether you want to keep them permanently or not. Now, tip number 6 is to establish trust. There are several different ways to establish trust. Using language can be a really important part. Again, going into my checkout, you guys can see in my payment section, it says all transactions are secure and encrypted. And under the delivery tab, you can write your personal information always remains secure or private. So including these types of phrases can help in boosting your checkout. Now, tip number 7 is to include logos. When customers see a Visa or a MasterCard logo on a checkout, this increases their trust. So you can go into apps on the left and click on apps and sales channels, click on Shopify App Store, and you can just search for logos. And you have multiple different logo adding tools which allow you to add scrolling logos. You can click on this and add scrolling logos. And if you're using Judge Me or any other product review tool, that also allows you to include logos of MasterCard and other trusted providers to your Shopify store. Tip number 8 is to include your basic labels. So your money back guarantee, if you provide it, your free delivery, or things like 15-day returns, you should include that in the form of logos. Again, you can do it with one of these applications, or you can use Judge Me or your product reviewing tools. Often they have this ability. Now, my last 2 tips are regarding your checkout page design. So you can go into settings and we're going to go into the customization tab. So go into checkout, click on customize. Now over here, a lot of people make a couple of different mistakes. Now on the top, you will have your checkout page opened, but after that you have a thank you page and you want to customize this as well. You also have your order status and orders page, which you also want to customize. Additionally, in your checkout page itself, you will have your logo positioning, background image, and more. I don't recommend actually adding a background image here because it can make your checkout pages or your payment pages look juvenile. You can also add background colors, but I always recommend not to go too much in contrast with the original colors. So you can add something like this to make it more cohesive with your brand. But if you put like a bright red over here, this is going to look very juvenile to your customers. So make sure you're striking a good balance between the colors that you are using. You can also adjust the other section as well, and you can make it the same color as well. This just depends on your personal preference on how you want it to look. Now, after that, you can also choose the error colors and change the headings. Again, don't go for styles that are very extreme, which can reduce your trustability. You can also click on sections and add your own customized sections. So you can go into settings to add those as well. Once completed, always preview any of your changes in all different views. So click on mobile views and then click on full screen views to see what your checkout is going to look like to make sure that all users have a good experience with your Shopify store. Once completed, click on save on the top right and you are done with your checkout page customizations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.